This is a wire coiled bead that I made a while back, and today I'm going to show you how to make one like this. I'm going to be using 28 gauge wire and 22 gauge wire. And here I have the artist wire coiling gizmo, and I'll be using this smaller rod. What you're going to start doing is taking the 28 gauge wire and wrapping it around, and then you're going to coil it onto this machine. If your coil starts to space out, you can push it back against the machine. And you're going to want a lot of coil for this first part. So just coil as much as you can. And then when you're done, you can try to unwrap the coil a little bit or use your pliers to cut it off. Just be very careful with your fingers, of course. And you're also going to cut off the bottom as well. To get the coil off the rod, twist in the opposite direction that you coiled it in and pull at the same time. Just try not to pull too much or unwind too much that you would hurt the coil. You can use the coil as is in wire weaving projects or other jewelry projects. To finish off the coil, what you will do is cut into the coil, right into the circle of the coil. Next, we're going to take the 22 gauge wire and put the coil onto this wire. And then we're going to do the same thing again. We're just going to coil again. Wrap the wire around the rod, just enough so that it'll stay in place. And then you're going to put this back into the gizmo. And you want to coil a couple times, maybe 3 or 4 times, before you're going to bring up the coil that we did first. And you're going to push it against the rod while you're turning the rod, and it's going to create this nice coil pattern. Once you get it going, you don't really need to push against the old coil anymore, but hold tight onto the 22 gauge wire. And at the end, make sure to coil a few times again to make a nice begin and ending for this bead. You can keep it as it is right now. This would make a nice bead, but we're going to take it one step further. And I just uncoiled that wire. Now I'm going to cut the ends nicely again. Just put the pliers into the coil. Here's what it looks like with the double coil. And now we're going to go for a triple coil by putting it again back onto that 22 gauge wire and do the exact same thing. Wrap it around the rod a little bit to hold it steady. Then we're going to put it on the gizmo again. Coil a few times before you bring up the bead. Make sure to push against the bead so that it starts to coil like this, and then remember to coil a few times after to make again that nice begin and end for the bead. Again, you're going to unwrap the wire and pull it off, and then you can cut the ends nicely. And here's what the bead looks like at the end. You can put these on some bracelets, on a necklace, or do some wire weaving with it. Thanks for watching, and please give me a thumbs up and hit subscribe for more videos like this.